Hello, people. Welcome to my channel and question time. I do question time every week. This one's a bit late because I've been unwell lately, so there was no point in trying to do it last Thursday when I could barely say a word without coughing or blowing my nose. So today I'm not feeling 100%, but it's a hell of a lot better than what I was feeling a few days ago. So yeah, let's get on to the first question, and we'll see what comes up.
From Mark Emery, please. Mark Emery.
Was the Tory Party conference Theresa May's last stand?
Theresa May's last stand. Personally, I am not a Tory person. If people regularly watch these question time videos, you will see that I'm not a Tory fan at all. But in a weird way, I am actually warming to Theresa May because I truly believe now that she's never been a fan of the austerity cuts program. I believe George and Dave Cameron was forcing her down a path that she wasn't really comfortable with. And now she's leader, she's trying to pull the party away from that nasty cuts program that didn't have to happen. But Dave and George Osborne forced it on the country. And it hasn't delivered what we were told in 2010. And I think Theresa May is trying to pull the party away from that narrative, where I believe the Chancellor, I can't remember his name now, but he's trying to keep that on track. And I think that's where the fighting is mainly happening. And obviously Theresa May knows she's got to be very nice to the Brexiteer MPs within her own party to keep the support she needs. So it's complete chaos in that party, and I believe in karma. Karma it happens. You cause chaos somewhere else, eventually chaos would come to you. But obviously Dave Cameron is a coward, and because he didn't get his way on the EU referendum, he quit. It's as simple as that. He's a coward. He would have only continued if he would have won the EU vote. So he chickened out. Instead of taking the responsibility on the vote like a democratic leader should, he just quit. And yeah, I can't see any clear leader that wants to be a leader. That's what annoys me with these Brexiteers MPs, especially in the Tory party. Because they know they've got a very weak leader, and any one of them, they can all group together, they could pick one of them, that one could be picked from the group, and they could challenge Theresa May and they will win easily. But none of them are, and no one in the media is asking why. Why are they not doing that? Because they know Brexit is going to be chaos, and whoever's in charge of Brexit is going to get, well, their career is going to be over basically. And none of the Brexiteers wants to do that. All they want to do is be on the sidelines shouting to the public about the EU vote and how the vote went to leave, so we must leave, but none of them's willing to become PM and follow that drive through because they know it's going to be chaos. And they're just a bunch of cowards. And on a personal level, I do feel sorry for Theresa May because she's standing up for her party when her party's a total mess and it's all of their own doing over the EU. You know, they didn't need to do this. They were in such a strong position a few years ago. And I do not understand why Dave Cameron caved in and gave the EU vote at this time, especially when the debt is the biggest issue of the Western countries. The debt is the biggest issue, but it's all been brushed under the carpet, and the debt isn't that. It's the massive issue. and it's going to cause nothing but chaos when it collapses. But yeah, as for Theresa May, I think she's safe myself. I don't think there's a clear enough leader around, well, a opposition leader who wants to challenge her. They're all cowards. So I think she's safe for a while, even after that total collapse at their I don't know what you call it, at their meeting thing or whatever. But yeah, I think she's safe at the moment. We'll move on to the next question now.
Please, Gillian.
Is Sir Boris Johnson a loose cannon or the Conservative Party's best chance of winning the next election?
As I was just saying in the last question, Boris is by clear probably out of all the Brexiteers, he's probably the one that would get most of the Brexiteers backing. But he's too much of a coward to do it. You know, you've got to ask why. What is their reason for not challenging to become the Tory leader / Prime Minister of this country and governing their vision of what Brexit should be? It's a clear question that everyone in this country could ask. And my conclusion is Boris does not want to lose his position and his nice little wage and his career to become leader, because he knows Brexit is not going to be as easy as he tries to sell it to the British public. He knows there's going to be very, very tough policies that's going to have to be forced on the population. Even though we've seen massive cuts and austerity already pushed onto the public sector and onto the country, we're going to see even more in a few years' time. And these bunch of Brexiteers, especially in the Tory party, are complete cowards. They're only self-interested in themselves. Let's go from Mogg example. Jacob Rees-Mogg, for example. The only reason he come out and said about the abortions and how he feels that should be banned and women shouldn't be allowed to get an abortion and all this crap, it wasn't because he wanted to. He was doing that to make sure that he would be ruled out of ever becoming the Tory leader. A very clever thing to do, because what that opens up now is he could keep on the sidelines, getting the public on side because of the EU vote, but never having to put himself in that position to bring his vision of what Brexit should be. So therefore his career is all safe on the back benches. Oh, that party really does my head in. So, as I've already said, I've explained it earlier, I don't, as far as I'm concerned, Tories lied to us. If you are, I doubt if you are a Tory supporter, but if you do know Tory supporters, tell them to go and watch The Big Short, because that explains things in simple terms what really caused the financial crash. And it was nothing to do with the UK government. Even if it was Tory party in power back then, after watching that film, I would not have blamed the Tory party. It's so annoying how they got into power based on a complete lie that Labour crashed our economy. That is the biggest lie ever. It was the American housing collapse that crashed the global economy. It was nothing to do with the UK economy. Even China says that. It was a USA crash. It was nothing to do with the UK. The Tory party manipulated that, and we are where we are now with more debt and more chaos over Brexit, when Brexit was not to blame. But I'll move on for now. Boris is too much of a coward. He could have challenged for leadership weeks ago. I think he's too much of a coward, and I don't think he trusts Gove enough to have him as a friend after what happened when they were potentially going to run for leadership of the Tory party. But yeah, I'll move on to the next question now.
Question.
Are university degrees really worth in excess of £50,000 worth of debt?
Okay, we
University degrees. I suppose that I think a lot of it sometimes it isn't what you know, it's who you know. I suppose the one thing that university does open up to you is the potential to get to know some people that might be in a, you might get a friend that you made in university get into a job, then you're more likely, you get that little bit more of an advantage if that friend is able to get you a position in that job. And obviously, having a university degree helps you to get more interviews, but I don't know if it guarantees a job, because there's so many people going for jobs nowadays. I don't think it's worth the debt myself, but then I'm from the position that learning, no matter what stage it's at, is an investment for the country. I hate how both the Labour Party and the Tory Party has turned learning into a cost when it's not. It is not a cost, and I hate it being employed like that. Learning, no matter what level it's at, should be paid for by the country as an investment, because that's what learning is an investment. Sorry about that, people, that's my water meter. Like I just said, I don't think it is worth nowhere near that, and yeah, it's just wrong. So what I'll do is I'll move on to the next question now.
please. Mr. Gardner.
Do the panel believe that Catalonia should be given independence from Spain?
And obviously has, please. Mr. Gardner.
Do the panel believe that Catalonia should be given independence from Spain?
And obviously has, please. Mr. Gardner.
Do the
Well, this one, obviously, the UK, Spain, well, the UK has really nothing to do with Europe now, so, but we can never be one a country, and I think the way the Spain government has handled this has just been disgusting. I think they should be given, I think Catalonia should be given the choice to vote to be independent. I don't think it's for the Spanish government to say either side what should happen. That should be down to the people, and the way that the government has acted has been so stupid, because there's a lot of people in Catalonia who don't want independence, but by sending in the police and acting like a dictatorship over another area of your country, it's just more likely to push those people that didn't want to leave Spain to want to leave Spain and be their own country. So I think the government has handled it terribly, and if they don't change track and say, right, okay, in 3 months' time we will have a proper, I think they'd have to have it this time next year. I think that's what the Spain government should do. They should come out and say, right, this time next year we will give you your vote, but it's going to be next year, and it will be an official vote for independence. I don't think they should have it any sooner than that myself, because they've got to get, what they've done is disgusting. Sending police in to use violence to stop a vote is just, it's just beyond stupid. Maybe in a year's time, the people that don't want to be an independent country may forget about it, and the people in the middle ground may start thinking, oh well, we don't want to leave Spain. But, you know, we're just using force to stop a part of a country, part of the internal country, a region of a country. It's just stupid. I just cannot believe that Spain did that. You know, they should be given the right to vote, most definitely. But that's for the for the government in Spain to make that choice. So I'll move on to the next question.
Please.
Yes, should we turbocharge the house building programme by ditching HS2?
Right, and that's the...
House building programme, oh, that is such a... Under this Tory government, when they started seeing austerity wasn't working, they looked at the UK industry and said, right, how can we fill this gap? Because it's not working like we planned. They turned to housing, and they turned housing into an investment opportunity for all the multi-millionaires and billionaires, wherever they could find them, and say, look, come here, buy the houses as an investment opportunity for rent. And that's why we've got stupid house prices and stupid rents at the same time. It's a housing bubble. The Tory party created a housing bubble, and it is clear. What should be happening is, I think that HS2 is a waste of money, because, you know, trains, I believe, they can only go where the tracks are laid, and that's it. I just think there is a waste of money. It destroys a lot of countryside along the way, and I just think they're a waste of money. So let's get rid of that. And also, I know it probably might not be a very popular political move, but the Help to Buy is the most stupid thing ever to have happened. The Tory party did it deliberately for a political gain, because what that does is it uses taxpayers' money to give to new buyers who can't afford to buy a mortgage independently. So it is a subsidy paid for to help those people. Now, if we go back to what created the 2008 crash, the subprime mortgage was slightly different in the sense it would give somebody a year to 2 years on a teaser rate. So that was roughly around 50% of the normal cost cut off. So the Help to Buy isn't like that, but it follows the same narrative of allowing people who can't afford to get a mortgage to get a mortgage. And we've seen how that ended in 2000. Subprime mortgages started coming to the market of America in 2006, and it completely destroyed the American economy badly when it crashed in 2008. And I think Lehman Brothers that totally crashed, if I can remember rightly. They went bankrupt, didn't they? I think it might have been Lehman Brothers. I might be confused, but you know, the right to buy, Help to Buy that this Tory government brought out, and the budget they put in place, by all accounts, Theresa May has just allowed another, is it something like 10 billion into that budget again? It is terrible. It is a terrible it's a terrible financial decision, but it's a political decision to try and make it sound like, the Tory party is here to help people. Well, when you really look into, what is a mortgage? It's debt. It's not helping people. It's only helping new buyers into the market. Well, that's people that mostly haven't got debt, which is rare these days anyway, because of what the question earlier about the degree. People's leaving with like 40, 50 grand's worth of debt already, so they won't even qualify for it. It'll be people who've got no debt that would qualify for it, but then if they haven't got the money to pay for it, and interest rates will have to go up sooner or later, we could end up with generations of people being kicked out of their house with nothing, with massive debt still to pay, and nothing to show for it. And the problem with it is the Tory party's not going to get the blame. If Labour gets into power and they build the houses that they say they're going to build, then what will happen then is eventually that will start hitting house prices, because the demand for buying them would go down. Because the only reason why house prices are so high now is because the demand is high, because people are looking at renting houses and they're seeing that they've got to pay massive costs, so they're trying to get the help to buy a house, because at the end of the day renting is just as expensive as buying. So why, from a logical point of view, why would you rent when you could just try and get a mortgage? But if the houses are built based on what Jeremy Corbyn is saying, that he will make sure there's enough houses, eventually that will start to fall down. The demand would fall down, which would hit the prices. Then everyone on this Help to Buy scam that the Tory party has done for political gain would start hurting people, because obviously if you've got a house that's worth less than what your mortgage was, you're in trouble. And if the house prices starts going down too much, the Bank of England will raise the interest rates, and then those people will, I'm not saying all of them, but you know, it don't take all of them to default. It only take, I think it was only something like 6% in America, and the whole thing collapsed. 6%, or was it 8% in America, and the whole system just started to collapse. So you know, I just think it's a manufactured chaos from the Tory party, because I don't think they understood what really created the 2008 financial crash. They were so blinded by their own lies that they didn't keep on track on what created the financial crash, or unless the bankers that they were getting information from were just telling them complete lies. I don't know, but you know, the UK's got a housing bubble, and it is going to be one hell of a complex issue to manoeuvre that around, because no matter which way you go about it, you know, housing manufacturers are going to want, they ain't going to turn around and say, well, okay government, we'll build you houses at cheap rates. Well, they ain't going to do that, are they? Each manufacturer who's going to build houses are going to want the market going rate to build them. So if they could build a house and they can get best part of 250k or 300k for it, they ain't gonna turn around and build one for the government at 150k, are they? You know, they're gonna want as close to the market price that they could get, and then that's where Jeremy Corbyn's, I don't think he understands that. You know, that's what's gonna cost so much, and like I said, once, if you can build that to that scale that we need, that's when you hit that second phase that I just went on about, when house prices starts to go down, and yeah, it's just complete chaos. And the worst thing about it is the two people that created that has done a runner from government now. You know, George is off on his own little job. I think I seen something about Dave Cameron's got his own little job now. Yeah, they've ran away from the chaos that they've created since 2010, and it's just disgusting. That's why I hate that Tory. That's why I hate that party. I can't help it. It's the way I am. They're self-driven, nasty, wealthy. It's unfair to say all of them, because I'm sure there's some good people in there. But you know, once you're surrounded by selfish people, even the good people would start being pushed towards that selfishness, because they'd be like, well, they're doing it, so what? some other side to it. Yeah, you've got to have really strong morals not to follow that path, and if you're dealing with that kind of party every day, I'm sorry, you would be pushed into that direction. Right then, that's the end of question time. On my channel, my little views on it and opinions. So yeah, if you made it this far, thank you for watching, and give it a bit of a like if you do. If you didn't like it, thumbs down it. You know, I'd rather have one or the other and nothing. So yeah, until, well, it's Thursday today, because obviously I wasn't very well last Friday, so I couldn't do it, and I've been just starting to get better now. So yeah, hopefully there'll be another video, because question time's on tonight, so there'll be another video either Friday or the weekend sometime. So yeah, thanks for watching. Until next time, ta-da.